actually.
Yeah.
As Beck would say, you're definitely not silky smooth today, or you're extra silky.
Extra silky.
So I'm so glad you start the show by standing up and showing us your gut.
See what happens.
We're definitely going to keep that in the show. Anyways, so as everyone says, we always say this, we've got a great guest on here tonight. I've known Tony for a few years now, and this company I don't know if there's anyone else. I'm going to have to ask him that question. He comes close. Like, I don't think anyone else does what they do. And I think he's going to have a great conversation, Dom. Do you know anything about this company?
I recall actually you interviewing him on a show, probably in your other sort of gig. I watched it for some because the name was familiar to me.
So you don't want to say that you're a fan?
No.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to admit you were creeping
my
out
ownership percentage will go down.
That was the most awkward moment I've ever had with you. So that was the most awkward way of saying you watched my shows before we started doing a show together.
No, I never watched your show, Jay.
Yeah, no. Anyways, we got a great guest. They do amazing stuff. Yeah,
we're gonna have.
Do you have questions? You got your questions lined up, all warmed up, ready to go?
Yeah. Well, kind of.
I actually think Tony is one of the coolest people there is in the industry too.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, Jay. Yes. Well, you started that way, and then again, we say it.
I don't know why you pause.
You discredit. Make less cool every guest we've had before this.
Oh shit! Beck's here.
To all our previous guests, sorry.
We've been missing you. We haven't brought
Tony on. I miss you guys too. I gotta stop in. Although you're in my wrong audio. Have you started? Where's your guest?
He's in the green room.
He's not here.
He's in the same city you are.
Oh, I get to be here for Banner, and then I don't have to blow up your podcast. This is perfect.
Yeah, way to go.
Is that wrong with your job today? Is it really going like that?
I don't know why I'm not my earbuds. Hold on.
No, you sound great. Don't change anything. You're really loud though.
I know. I'm gonna get my earbuds in. Hold on. Just a second. Actually, I think I can do the show if you don't mind me being around. Do you mind me being around?
Would you, if you can stop moving the camera, you're making me seasick.
I'm gonna go find a spot and sit down, so I'm not waiting. So give me a second.
Okay, we'll wait. Dominic's trying to tell me he doesn't creep me out before.
Never have.
Yeah, he was a fan before we started doing a show, Beck.
Who?
Dom was.
I met somebody today who knew you, was so excited that I knew you. And Jay, I'm from Canada. He's amazing. I'm like, yeah, that's my Canadian connection. I'm like, you don't know him like I do, but you can go ahead and keep thinking he's amazing. Huh?
Was it awkward? Was it awkward?
Well, yeah, you're my buddy, and the fan thing was weird, man. It's very weird.
Beck, did he have the writing? Was that the girls on the side of the sidewalk, and did he have writing on his ass?
I don't know. Hold on, let me
inappropriate question there, Jay.
What's that? So we got to get those ones out before we have Tony on. Hey, Beck, you're familiar with Popmenu,
I got yours.
right?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
What's that?
You're familiar with Popmenu?
Popmenu?
You're familiar with them. Everyone knows Popmenu, except for Dominic.
Well, yeah, put Michael on the spot there. Yes, of course you know him, Michael.
He knows they are.
Yeah, put me on the spot. Make me lie. Okay, yes, I know them. They're amazing.
Yes, they are. They really are. They are. So, anyways, we're gonna have Tony on.
Well, we're gonna do the intro. They wouldn't be on here if they weren't amazing.
There you go.
Bud. Can we get the ant back, please? I miss it.
No, I was gonna say that. I love the fact that I got fans in Vegas that are Canadian.
Yeah. They're clearly yokels.
Was that the one fan? That was the one fan that follows me around the country.
What did you pay to get your name on her ass, Jay?
The I don't think she wears underwear. They're called bloomers.
Was it a chick? Was it a chick?
It was
a lady?
Yes. There we go. That's Vegas-y enough. There we go. That feels very Vegas. I have
Hey,
bad
stop
signal
moving.
though, so whatever.
Stop moving though.
Now,
You're making me
all right,
sick.
there.
We got to bring Tony
You
into
sound
the
like my
show.
mother.
We got to bring Tony into the show because he's a legend, and I want to talk about Popmenu because they do amazing stuff, and there's so much to talk about. Okay,
All right.
you ready?
Let's.
Beck,
Sure.
you're good?
Go.
You look like
I'm
you're at a
good enough.
fairground, but I'm not going to point that out.
I'm at the Flamingo.
How
I am
ironic
at
is
an
it?
event at the Flamingo. I know.
Okay, here we go.
I
We're going to be back.
filmed with the giant flamingo before I left.
I know,
wait,
I saw that.
Let's bring
I
it
saw it. We saw that today.
No.
Very
This,
cool.
okay, Beck, pause. We got to have Tony in the show. Okay, I don't want to. He's in Vegas. He's busy. He's a busy guy. Cool company. 3, 2, 1. Dom. Tony, welcome back.
Hi, Tony.
Or welcome to the Late Night Restaurant Show.
Thanks for having me. Live from Vegas.
That is
Is
live.
You're in Vegas too?
I'm in Vegas. I rushed here this
I'm
morning.
gonna come up to your room. I'm going to your room right now. We're gonna cast from your room. I'm over at the Flamingo.
Don't tell him don't tell him where you're at. Do not tell him where you're at.
No, it'll be
If
so
you want to
weird.
sleep tonight, don't tell him where you're at.
Tony's probably got security, so don't worry.
Oh man,
I'm unfortunately exhausted. I took the 4 a.m. flight out of Tampa here. I am beat.
I took a 6 a.m. out of Florida, so I feel your pain a little bit.
Yeah. So are you in Florida too?
Well, I was in California. I bought a house in Florida about 2.5 years ago, like half the Californians. So they all migrated to Florida, Texas, or Nashville, it seems.
I am a Californian, migrated from Irvine to Tampa.
Oh,
I represent that statement.
Newport Beach.
I was living in Promontory Point in Newport.
Oh yeah, I was in CDM, right where MacArthur runs into PCH.
Yep, no, that's fine.
The good old PCH, HA.
I was going to say, now that we're done the family reunion, Tony, welcome to the Late Night Show.
Tell us about Popmenu. Well, first tell us about you, and then tell us about Popmenu.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super young and super tall. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, but you know,
you're cool.
Yeah, no,
I used to start that way too.
Yeah, I'm one of the co-founders and the COO of Popmenu. You know, we started, 8 years ago, and yeah, I mean, I've probably met with more restaurateurs than just about any individual, certainly in the U.S. You know, over the last 8 years, and it's been quite the journey. I love the space because every day is a little bit different. Everybody you meet has a different story, and it's been fun, stressful but fun. You know.
Only 8 years.
The founder's journey.
What does Popmenu do?
8 years.
Yeah, 8 years. So yeah, Popmenu, we're an all-in-one platform for restaurants. If the way people have described us, and I hope they're half right, is we combine like a front-end experience, which is similar to like an Amazon e-com, right? When people go look for a new restaurant to dine at or order from, you go to the menu, right? That's by far your primary decision point for most consumers. And we couldn't stand that they were PDF and static text. And so I always say Amazon is a comparison, because when you go to buy shoes or something at Amazon, like my wife does every day, you get visuals, you get reviews of the item, you get recommendations, right? You know, and so why shouldn't restaurants be different? You know, when you land on a restaurant, visual content, certainly we eat with our eyes, rankings, reviews, things that help influence us. So our front end is like a Amazon e-com principle, and then the back end is like a CRM, like a Salesforce or HubSpot. So when you combine those two, we're an all-in-one platform for restaurants. So instead of having to manage, 8 or 9 different tools and vendors that don't give you economies of scale, that oftentimes are very manual, we consolidate all of that into one spot and largely automated. When systems are talking to each other, it always makes things a little bit better. So that's Popmenu in a nutshell, is an all-in-one platform for restaurants who are really focused on growing the business. Yeah.
It feels like you're the right man for the time or the right business for the time due to the fact of, things like dynamic pricing, menu
Right.
changes, menu boards that could feed, right?
Right.
That's awesome. That's absolutely
Yeah.
awesome.
I think COVID, as you guys can attest, was extremely stressful, but it was actually a good accelerant for our business because people that kind of had waited,
Yeah.
Jay's my marketing guy. I've known him for 10 years, and although I'm charging him $1,000 to post on Facebook a couple times, all of a sudden when COVID hit, it really forced people to make some decisions about themselves and the business, and so our ability to consolidate helped us out. So yeah, we've been well positioned. We still are. It's still amazing that really not just in North America but across the globe, it's still pretty nascent. For restaurants to have greater control over things and have a more dynamic experience for their guests.
And
So
when you
Tony,
say CRM, is that closer
we're
to
all
a
excited.
CDP?
One at a
Sorry,
time,
sorry,
boys.
just
One at a
yeah.
time.
That's my only question. I'll leave it alone. Is it more CRM or CDP, customer data platform?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's both. I mean, I'd say at its core, we function a lot like a CRM, right? Which is, how do you know more about your guests, and then how do you market to them based on those preferences? And so, the email, the social, all that kind of stuff, the SMS. I'd say that's the CRM aspect. But your CDP thing is on the money. That's a big hot button has been for a while, and I don't think most people understand it. But basically, that's like the full life cycle view of the consumer, right? Like, how do they find you? What do they engage with?
Yeah.
What do we learn about them? What actions did they take? Did they seat that reservation, et cetera? And then when you have that more holistic view of the consumer, now you can message them in ways that are highly specific. And when things are very specific, it feels like, your Norm from Cheers, and that feels good. And you continue to patron that restaurant. So yeah, great question though.
And back to that point, not many people do that, right? Like from a CDP point of perspective, right?
Right.
Or
I think
I train so many restaurants just trying to do that
right
is insane to
yeah
see.
Well,
Like
the
and
platform
Tony, they
might
don't.
be missing those.
Well, they don't, but they think that they start the journey starts either in the restaurant,
right
and it really doesn't, right?
Right.
And like to your point, Tony, I see where you guys come in so important on that journey because they're going to either go to their website, go to Google or whatever the case is first, or is people. Do you notice, Tony, from your perspective, and this isn't in the maybe it is in the questions? Do you find people starting to go to AI now to do their search in restaurants?
Oh, you mean like going to like ChatGPT? I think that's still a little bit really early for consumers to be saying, "Hey, best Italian in Vegas," and using ChatGPT for that.
It's clunky as hell.
Right. Yeah. Some people
are
starting to explore more with that. I openly am using it more than Google for like my day-to-day searches not related to restaurants. So I think that's right. I think that's something that's interesting that restaurants and companies are exploring today and how to do it. I think people dabble with it, but Google is still the game for that, right? It's still the vast majority of traffic to restaurant sites are coming through Google. So
I think we're hopeful. I think at one time we were hopeful that it might become the next, almost like the next search engine.
It's probably going to get there. It's just going to get integrated into the search. I think that's like Google. And
my
all
gut
those
is
guys,
telling me that they're working together.
Well, you can actually turn on ChatGPT to be your search engine, and I'm actually going to turn mine off because it goes too far down the rabbit hole when you ask about certain things where really you just want a list, not the entire entomology of the thing you talked about.
Yeah. I think AI it's certainly a hot button topic though, right? Because now there's so many tools out there, whether it's marketing tools with AI or phone systems. So I think that's certainly something that when you go to these conferences, the most common question is, well, what kind of AI? Help me understand what that means. And so I think there's still a heavy education process, certainly for SMB restaurants, independents. But
I just don't think we're there yet. Like I work with a lot of groups and we were hopeful, and we had this discussion, I think last time we were on a show, is that we were hopeful that it was going to be the silver bullet, let's say, or the solution to what we needed. It came in and we all jumped on it. And then we find that restaurants are going, whoa, I'll use it for email or creating a document, but running my business or helping with business decisions, I don't know if it's quite there in a sense. I'm also thinking that the agents that are coming into the space right now for AI agents, that is where I think will lead to. I think it was Adobe was doing their sneaker release of their new AI integration, and it was incredible with the agents. It just took it on. Like one thing, your prompts were light, and it just went through like wildfire. And it's on some building out a whole marketing strategy plan.
Yeah.
You didn't have to feed it. It just kept going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
To your point, back, it almost does create that rabbit hole of problems down the road.
Well, I mean, if you spend time with it, like the thing is people think if it's off the shelf, I can go use it for everything I want. Some things, right? But if you want to do the right stuff, you have to teach it, right? I mean, you are going to be my marketing agent, and I'm going to feed you everything, and I'm going to teach you how to be that and give you all the information. Here's the websites I want you to monitor every day and report on, and start telling it what to do. Then it can do a lot of stuff for you, but you have to put in to get out of that. You have to raise it.
Yeah.
You have to nurture your AI
and
to
then
do what you want
back
to
to
do.
the restaurants don't have time to do that. Period.
Right.
No,
They need
no.
they need a
Nor the
service
technical wherewithal.
right, for sure.
Well,
Like what Tony's offering. I think
Right. Yeah. I think that's
Jay,
spot on.
we've talked
Brown,
about this multiple times.
Yeah.
We
I was gonna say, I
talk
think that's
about this
spot on.
often, is that restaurants in any part of their business, like they're not going to, some will come to a conference like you're at and go learn about the new stuff. But even to 5 years ago, your business has changed, right? Like what your product, what your service can do now compared to 5 years ago, probably changed in a big way. And people, again, I don't think, they're not out there looking, AI, Jay was an early adopter, and I can attest to, he was hopeful that it was going to do all this stuff. I heard about it every morning, twice. And
Thanks. Thanks, Tom.
it's not there.
Thanks.
So, but there are tools out there that can, I don't know if AI is integrated into Popmenu yet, but I'm sure it's coming at some point. But what have you seen change in the last 5 years, and what's kind of the thing that's happening in a big way now?
Yeah. Well, first off, what I tell people is Popmenu's been leveraging AI for about 7 years. It's not a brand new thing, right? Like the ChatGPT and all that stuff came out, and that is certainly at a much different level. But it started for us. We have first party reviews. I think we were one of the first platforms to offer that, meaning someone can write a review directly on a restaurant site on a specific dish item that they engage with. And so AI was a quick way to do like sentiment analysis. So if Jay's reviewing that reviews, it can analyze what the review is saying, the word choices and verbiage to say quickly, this one you should approve, this one you should reject based on whatever criteria. But I think in the last 5 years, people forget that before COVID, first party ordering was really not that prevalent, right? Even delivery services weren't anything like we know them to be today. And
it was pizza and Chinese. That was it, right?
Right. And even then, you probably called some of those people, right? More so than doing it online. Like that's not that long ago. It sounds like I'm getting old here or something, but no, I think you look back in those 5 years, consolidation was 5 years ago was kind of a new thing. We were, not to be a Popmenu pitch, but we were the first ones that put so many things in one spot, focused on top of the funnel. Everything was primarily like enterprise and back of the house software, right? Like POS. And then through that consolidation, it became clear to us and maybe a few others, like the restaurant sector, these guys are just busy. They have great intentions. They just get busy. And so if you can't automate certain things for them, they just don't use it as often as they should. And so I think automation was something that really came on. And then first party integrations, right? With the advancements of ordering and delivery, it was like, okay, at first I had to plug in this middleware that helped these two systems talk to each other. And people realized, well, I don't want to have to deal with that. Can't I just have an order direct into my POS, regardless of what I'm using? And so I think it went from consolidation to automation and first party integrations. And then now today, you still have those types of things advancing, right? Like more automation, more segmentation. And then it's become AI. And as we talked about it, what I would say is AI doesn't have to be the scary thing for restaurants. People can start off small, right? Like use AI to help you generate copy. So instead of you having to think of every idea from scratch, when inevitably you're not going to have, and it hurts your consistency, use AI to help you generate the copy. And then you play the role of editor in chief. Great. It took me 90% of the way. I'm going to use a little different word here. I want to change the emoji or a different picture. That way, as a role of editor in chief, it naturally allows you to do more with less. And so I think that's where we are now with AI, continued segmentation and automation. I think those are the big things right now that people are trying to learn more about. I always tell restaurants when I consult with them is like, I get it. You're getting a million people calling you with all these ideas about AI and you still don't understand what it is. Like, but find a company, whether it's Popmenu or someone else, that has already integrated AI into the platform. Because you try to use an email tool and then go and find another AI tool to incorporate, like it's not going to happen for most of these smaller restaurants. So look for a tool that has already incorporated it. Things like marketing is a great way to start, right? Like have they incorporated AI to help you create social posts or emails quick and efficiently, and that perform really well. I think that's kind of where things are now, in my opinion.
So Tony, I want to jump on that because it's one of the questions we have here for you is really when it comes to marketing, what are some of those challenges? Because I work with, like I said, I work with a lot of restaurant groups. And when I work with them and we get into the marketing area, I am quite, I don't know how the word is, amazed that we have I'm saying this nicely, Dom, is that there's a gap. There's a gap between quality of content. Now, to the restaurant's offense, you didn't take marketing in business school in the restaurants, right? So,
Jay,
more restaurants are out there fighting a battle without knowing anything about marketing.
But I think the answer to that is, and Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, and Michael, I'm sure you'll correct me as well, is the point is not offensively, sorry. All we want them to do is start doing it. Start doing it.
Well, yeah, that's usually that was my, we had a session today with quite a significant customer, and we had that conversation around just do it, just go. So when you look at the challenges,
to Tony's point, then learn.
Yeah, like Tony, is that what you see? Is the challenges that people just don't do enough of it, or are they 100%. Sitting there trying to figure out the secret sauce of the marketing world?
It's a combination of those two things. The biggest challenge, there is a direct correlation between your marketing impressions and transactions. I could show you for 12,000, 14,000. Really? Yes.
Brilliant, man.
If you market yourself, now the quality, the messaging, the content of the various things will continue to help scale it. But generally speaking, every restaurant, if they can simply market themselves consistently week after week, they will put their business in a better position than it is today. That's just a fact. I mean,
is it quite significant, Tony? Sorry to interrupt. I get excited about this shit. Is it significant? Like, are we saying 5%, 10%, or do you see it gradual?
It depends. People that have not done a lot of marketing, and now all of a sudden you can start pumping out, 5-6 pieces a week through omnichannel, right? Like social, email, even SMS. It's drastic. We've got a customer, and I forget where they're located actually. It's called Desi District, DESI District. They hadn't historically marketed themselves. They signed up with us, I think, like last May. And then they had the automation emails that come with our platform. In the first month, they did $1,000 in online ordering. They turned on what we have is like an AI marketing calendar, which pre-populates an entire month's worth of activity. Their impressions went up by like 20,000 impressions. Well, guess what? Their online ordering revenue alone went from 1,000 to 15,000. The next month it was 16,000. Next month it was 16,000, and then it was 18 and 24,000. Now you might be saying, well, that's probably your best one. It's not. It's average. But what it does prove to us is a couple things. One, if you can solve the consistency challenge, you're already in a better position. If you can combine that with more specific marketing audiences because you've captured that data top of the funnel, then it's even stronger. But the short answer to your question, Jay, I want to make sure I do it is I think the challenges are, one, they don't have the time. You could be a 5-location spot in Toronto, Vancouver, LA, New York. You likely don't have some huge team that's out there doing all this, right? So you don't have the time. Secondly, there's an expense associated with that. And if they don't have good top of the funnel data, they're doing a lot of mass messaging, which means they're sending it to 20,000 people.
Spray and pray.
Right. When in reality is if Michael and Kathy and Tony are vegetarian and you send a text to, 87 people about your new vegetarian options, that text is likely going to perform better than a mass message. So time and expense. And the most common questions we get asked are, what should I do next? And how do I know if it's working? And I think AI solves for both of those questions, right? AI is going to say, hey, ordering starts Thursdays through Saturday in your area, in your cuisine category. You need to start promoting that on Tuesday afternoon, right? And then the ROI, the AOI will dictate how many clicks did you get? How many people clicked the order button and fulfilled the order? So now I can show you the ROI. So I could talk all day about it, but we're pretty passionate about it because we see it deep analysis across our customer base. They just get busy sometimes and they forget to market. And then you can see the results go like this. And so obviously we want our customers to have a great return so that we help them and two, they stay with us. So we're investing more and more time into what more things can we automate and do for the client. And if we can't, how can we leverage AI so things are teed up where they can play the role of editor in chief?
Cool. Tony, for distribution, and distribution is a big hook, right? Metadata on posting is a big hook. Does the part of your AI select optimal times for reader engagement? Because there is a correlation between timing and engagement, right? Not just frequency.
Yeah, ours will to some degree. I mean, it's not. Some aspects aren't quite in that deep machine learning as you read and hear about. I haven't seen a ton of stuff that combines like top of the funnel data with deep machine learning to do that. I think there's stuff that's coming out nascent. So there's aspects of it that yes, we'll know certain times to promote certain things or certain word choices and stuff. I think that's continued to evolve.
You know what's interesting by that?
Thanks.
I think no, it's good. I think it's a great question in a sense that reminds me of a post today. I think it was Matt. Did we get Matt his beans? He's probably asking for his beans again. So,
Wampler. I thought you meant Platt.
No.
Yeah.
Right. So if you do run into him,
we did not get him his beans.
We got to get his beans. Anyways, he
you
posted.
Can't put that on me.
Sorry, if you're close. Hey, you're traveling. I'm sitting here. I was gonna say he posted a really good post, Tony, on this too, and I share it with you. He broke down, and I don't know where he got the data from, but he broke down the country of the United States on specific. It was almost like a rhythm of when businesses are busy and businesses aren't in our industry, and he broke it down percentages. And I'm thinking the same thing in relationship to what Beck is saying, based on, when's the best time to post and when is people receiving those posts are the best time. And I'm wondering if there's a correlation between that and also this. And it was quite significant. It's not like everyone's busy on the weekends in Texas,
right?
And everyone's busy on the weekends in Florida area. And he broke it up. And I thought it was one of the most interesting posts I've seen because it matches almost like the buying patterns of people. Because people have buying patterns, right?
Sure.
Like Dominic, you might like buying stuff on Tuesdays all the time, right? And it's not always forced on economics. It's also forced on body patterns, right?
Right.
On endorphins and all these good things. So
that's interesting.
I find it interesting in a sense on that, Beck. Yeah. So I think it is. Yeah, not quite there yet, getting there. But as we start
I got
to
a trivia
see
question for you guys. I got a quick trivia question. It's contextual though.
Okay.
What does PAR, the company PAR, the mega tech company PAR, what does PAR stand for?
Oh, I know him. I know the CEO and them. I should know this.
Steph's a good guy.
Tony.
Yeah.
Come on, Tony.
Passive something.
No Googling.
No, I'm not.
No passive.
Give up.
No,
I'm guessing it's not pickle.
Pattern analysis and recognition.
No.
Pattern analysis and recognition. It was machine learning before it was even a thing.
Right.
Yeah,
but
Dr. Salmon, who started PAR, was he did that for the military, and he started applying that to business logic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating. As we get into this. What I was going to say is, the more that these things are starting to, we segregating them out, we're going to learn more and more. We're using companies like yourself, Tony, with Popmenu and stuff, is the more that we can help our customers understand that this broad brush of marketing or this, hitting everything or social posting, like without rhyme or reason or specifics on it, I think is going to get us better. Right. I think the receiving of the content isn't really thought of, Beck, until you mention it. It's like, when's the best time for them to receive it? Because we get delivery, every time we post something, do you want to schedule it? But it's not, hey, when do you want them to receive it? Right? Interesting point, though.
Yeah. I think AI is also interesting, right? Like if we know that your slow times are Tuesdays, right, or in Wednesday lunch, AI can be used to automate some specials or certain messages that entice you to come in during those times. We dabble with some of that kind of testing, and I know there's some people out there that are trying to solve for those kind of things. So I think that's going to be super. I mean, you're right, though. I mean, look, it gives restaurants a chance to do more with less. Any business, regardless if it's restaurant or some other sector, every CEO, every manager is trying to do more with less. I want to get more revenue with less overhead, less expense, less time, and I think AI is going to do that. I don't think AI is perfect, just like nobody's perfect. And so that's why I think you gotta test some stuff out and go with a trusted provider who's hopefully already leveraging it. And I think a company worth their salt is doing some dabbling in it. I do think people have to be weary of. We've seen some AI out there, right? Because it's easy to call up and say, hey, I got this new AI feature. Nobody knows what it is, and you can be a good salesperson. But we've seen some cost people that talk about AI. And then, in the Atlanta market, for example, we had these 4 clients we were pursuing, and they all had the exact same Taco Tuesday post, the exact same picture.
No.
Yeah. So what you have to worry about is if I'm the consumer and I go to one of those restaurants and I go there and what is presented to me or what I get is vastly different than the message, then all of a sudden you start to doubt the authenticity. So I think from our perspective, like our AI tools, we don't use like fake imagery and stuff like that. We are only pulling data, information, visual content that's happening on the site in the business. So I think that's one thing that people should be looking out for with AI, is making sure that it's using authentic information and visual content, stuff like that.
He talking about all the girls that are showing up now that aren't real girls, AI wise.
That's funny.
Tony, what do you find that is the process of adoption of Popmenu? So when someone says, we're going to use that, how long does it take for a restaurant to get fully integrated with Popmenu?
Yeah, I mean, all clients should be, if they sign today, they should be live and fully integrated with all their systems within 30 days. The most important thing is getting it right? So if there's some nuances and stuff like that, it could take longer. We also, for smaller operators, we have a thing that we call Fast Track, which basically, there's a small one-time fee to build it. If somebody agrees to launch within 14 days, we give them like vast majority of that back in a rebate. Because for us, we just want the customer to be engaged. Yeah, but because our challenge is, the restaurant gets busy, right? And so we start the build process and then they get busy and they forget to give us a piece of information, or maybe they don't respond to the preview that we send them, And so if we can incentivize them to stay engaged, we know that once they launch, they're going to have great results. So yeah, it should be great. Technology should not be a heavy lift, right? Like, when you sign up with us, for example, we have what we call like a discovery call, launch call. It takes 30, 45 minutes. You tell us what you like or don't like about your digital footprint, calls to action. Our team does the work and comes back. We think that's the way it should go. Like the days of spending $50,000 to build a site that takes 6 to 8 months, that's lunacy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, to that point on AI, right? Because when you configure software, a lot of it's not even coding; it's just flipping digital switches.
Yeah.
Right. So implementations have to start going faster by merit of that alone.
Right. Well, and that's where first-party integrations are so important, right? Like, because it's one less thing you have to deal with, and then every time you add another piece, it's potential for complexity. So, the most common thing you hear about with integrations in the restaurant space is like, okay, my online ordering. That order gets submitted and goes straight into the POS, just like my server had entered it, or same thing for like delivery. So I think that's a key thing. And then other things like reservations, like we have a great relationship with OpenTable, and the ability to update your menu in one spot and updates everywhere. That's efficiency, ability to share data. So
there, if people, when they come onto your platform, do they see an increase in direct ordering versus the third party? Because
yes,
that could be a massive increase directly to the restaurant and gaining that customer back versus giving them up to the, to the third party.
Yeah, 100%. our first party ordering, I mean, look, we're biased, but we think that our ordering UX is great. We think it's as good as anyone, and we think it's better than just about everybody. But what it starts, people forget. You can have the best ordering thing, but if your site isn't optimized for Google, if your site doesn't allow guests to share and promote you, if the menu is static, then your order volume is going to not be optimized, right? Your ability to influence the guest check average is not optimized. So you really got to focus on all those things. But yeah, in general, when someone comes to our site, they usually see a pretty noticeable lift in first party orders. One, because we drive more traffic to the business, right? And then we have a unique user experience, so you convert more. And they promote it more because it's better financials for them. Now, what I would say is, look, delivery services can be valuable, right? It's a great way to acquire new clients, extend your brand. But I think a vast majority of clients, especially like post-COVID or during COVID, they turned to that as a way to find revenue. And their intention was, hey, I'm going to find Jay and I'm going to convert him so he comes and orders from me because my economics are better. My quality control is better. Everything about that's better for me, right? In theory. But what happens is most restaurants tend to not have those tools that have the automation or the integrations that make that conversion seamless. And so then they just kind of get the customer just assumes it's always like through the delivery service. But I think it's a great acquisition channel. And for some people, depending on their structure, their commission structure, it can still be a valuable way to extend, your reach. But I think ideally restaurants are always finding ways to drive them first party where they have more of a direct ownership relationship,
Yeah, I'm personally for that. And only because that puts the restaurant back in control. If they get the other things right, like with a service like yourself, their chances of success are vastly increased, right?
Right. And I would argue that markets like the UK, for example, first party ordering is still really nascent. I keep saying that word, but it's applicable. It's largely dominated by the delivery services. And so
also a great word.
Thank you. I was reading my it make me smarter, But in Canada, I would say in some degrees probably still has a big opportunity for more first party ordering and more direct integrations. So I think there's still a lot of room for everything to improve there.
Well, I think services like yours are having some of the third party delivery services rethink their commissions, right? Like they were really out of control for a long time. And I'm happy to see that in some cases they're starting to ease down a bit, which is good, right?
Yeah, they had some pressure, depending on where you are, which country, which state, whatever. But they've been good partners for us. When you integrate the delivery services into, like, for example, on our platform, there's more of a set rate. The economics are better for the restaurant. And so in the delivery service is still getting their pass through. Because if the consumer lands on Tony's Cafe, I want to give them the option of first party or delivery if that's what if I want as a business owner. But I want to control the UX and I want the economics to be better. And so, I think they're realizing they have to play in that space, right? And be a good partner.
Well, that's what competition does, right? Right. That's the magic of competition.
Right. Competition's good.
Like
man.
Everything just gets better. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So Tony, awesome. the question is, you've almost been around 10 years. You're at 8. What's next for you guys? What's next?
Oh man. That is a $1 billion question, quite literally.
He's going for evaluation. He said the big B.
I know.
No. No. I think
10-year evaluation.
Yeah, we've extended the platform so much, right? Like I think we were the first AI.
I remember you guys when I think we talked when you started.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, you were just a newbie.
We literally, one of my partners, Brendan, and I were literally meeting. I hadn't left my other job yet. All right, I was leaving, and we met on a Sunday in Newport Beach in my office, my old company, and we heard like the cleaning people, and we freaked out. And then we went and worked in literally my office garage, like you hear about. And so it's been quite the journey. But look, I think for us, we continue to extend anything that's related to consumer engagement and data that we know can fuel the marketing and the experience. That's what we've continued to invest in. So it's going deeper and wider in some of our segmentation, whether it's email, SMS, and other stuff. It's the integrations. It's working with companies like an OpenTable, a Square, for example, on how you can better share data to benefit the seller. So I think that's where we're going. Look, I think international is a big thing for us. We have people in Canada, we have people in the UK, we have clients in multiple countries. We believe what we're doing solves a global challenge, a global opportunity. And so I think for us, it's going deeper and wider in what we have, continuing to find ways to leverage AI to drive a better return for the customer. And really anything related to consumer engagement and data, we're gonna be best in class at. And hopefully our goal is to take that globally. And at the end of the day, our job is to create optionality for the company, right? So, and I think we're doing a good job so far. But like I said, it's always stressful.
So I'll put that in other terms. It's called global domination.
That would be fantastic. We'd like to do that in the best way possible. Like Brendan and I, we've been fortunate, in our professional lives, but we neither one of us really grew up with much money. And so we went to business school at some really high-end institutions, but our undergrad, were smaller regional universities. And so it's nice to show people that you don't necessarily have to go to a Harvard or Stanford in order to create a great business that can have global impact. So, we'll keep plugging along and do it for the little guys, I guess.
I love it.
Hey, Tony, because a lot of people listening are on this kind of are on a track, right? And the founder's journey is a real thing.
Yeah.
And you go into this with some people are naive saying, hey, it's all going to work out. This is easy. Some people are a little too pragmatic.
Yeah.
And they might even shoot themselves in the foot because they're being so cautious, right? And so what would maybe be one of the big surprises you got when you really was just because you had to let go of the vine to really follow this, right?
Right.
What was like one of the big surprises you got as a founder that you could share with somebody like, man, I wish I knew that going into this? Or, I mean, like a parent, your kids aren't going to listen and they're going to have to suffer anyways, but like maybe we can help somebody grow up here.
Yeah.
What would be a lesson?
This is your TikTok moment, Tony.
Yeah. I remember telling my wife I was formerly an executive at a company that went from when I started, it was 1 million. We got up to almost 800 million. It was one of the largest job boards in the world. And so I had a pretty good gig and I left. And of course, Brendan and I didn't pay ourselves for 2 years. And I remember our very first customer, I got a photo shoot and I wrote a personal check. I don't know if people write checks anymore, by the way, but I wrote a personal check.
No way.
And I went back and I called Brendan and I said, I had to pay $800 to this guy for a photo shoot. We're doomed. There's no way we could do it. But no, I think there's a couple things. I learned that having partnerships is really incredibly important, especially in a market like restaurants where, you're dealing with decision makers that are very different, probably the most hectic profession in the world. And so they're not always the most organized, and so if you don't have, we were fortunate. We had a company called Cisco that we partnered with. And I remember I called in the president at the Riverside. His name's Saul Allisberg. Shout out to Saul. Mm-hmm. I can tell you exactly where I was. I was at the Fashion Island Hotel, a little staycation with my wife. And I had called and left a message. And he called me back about 5 minutes later. I had my luggage in my hand and I was walking down the hallway. And I told him real quick about our idea. And he said, well, come meet us and see how it goes. And then I met him probably at a food show. So first off, what I learned early on is if you try and go it alone and think you have all the answers, you're very likely going to fail, so leveraging people.
Humility, huh?
Yeah, of course. And leveraging people that have expertise and know-how in the space. And for us, I was dumb luck. I actually at the time didn't even know who Cisco was. I saw a truck in the parking lot. I was meeting this customer trying to sell him a deal for $39 a month. And I literally had a Word document and a shift underscore. I had made it in my car and printed out at a Kinko's and got him to sign that. You know what I mean?
What's the guy who sings the thong song guy do with restaurants?
Oh God, I don't know. But so anyways, I'll try and be short, but I saw the truck and the guy was like, oh, and he saw me staring at it. And I was like, what is that? And they said, well, they deliver all of our food. He said, oh, you should call them. And I just I did a Google search. And so I assumed their corporate office was in Riverside, California, which it's not, it's in Houston.
Oh.
But anyway, he called me back. So the short answer is I think you got to check your ego at the door, no matter how great you might be or how great you think your idea is. There's gonna be a lot of people that doubt you and say, well, why, there's too many companies trying to solve for this. So one, you got to check the ego there. Or two, really be open to ideas and idea sharing, especially from people that are experts in the space. And if you can leverage them to help you bring you into people, we didn't have any marketing dollars. And so my marketing dollars was essentially giving, those Cisco customers a great discount and a low cost so that I could build up market examples and learn faster and stuff like that. So that's kind of the early learnings. And then there was one thing I didn't expect is our initial idea is we're just going to build this cool looking menu and we're going to plug it in and we're going to make billions of dollars. And then we realized quickly, like, we can do that. But if the site of the client is not secure, it's not built for mobile, it's not optimized for Google, then our ROI story is always going to be lagging. And so we quickly pivoted to building the site, which essentially, combines a platform. And then we had underestimated just how fragmented the space was. Like, we didn't realize people were being an email tool that could be expensive and a social media tool and or a contractor and waitlisting and all this stuff. So I think you just got to be really open and attentive and listen a lot. Like, people talk, listen more than talk, but like in a startup, it's beyond critical. The last thing I would say is there's 1,000 reasons to quit every day. You just have to find the one reason to keep going to the next day. And trust me, when COVID hit, we were sitting there going, I'll try and be short. I know I keep saying it.
Good time, Tony. I love it.
Long story short.
Yeah. Short story longer, our business was really starting to take off. I was in Austin, Texas, rolling out a partnership there, also with Cisco at the time. We were at a show, like one of their client shows. I think we signed 27 deals in one day, which crazy record for us, and I'm sure it's crazy record for Cisco. 27 signatures on the spot in that day. Through the first 8 or 10 days of March, we were on pace for an insane month, like crazy. And then COVID hit. And then it was like we were running to say, well, what if none of our customers paid us another penny for a year? Could we stay in business? How long, could we run payroll? So, that would have been real easy to try and just abandon ship and go get a cushy corporate job if you could at the time. But anyway, that's a long way of saying you got to have thick skin. And if you believe in something, you got to work hard. What I tell my people is, hey, man, you can go to some corporate job and be employee number 1 of 5,000, not have any equity.
Yeah.
And I'm going to monitor everything you do, or you can have the flexibility to come here and show you can win without having perfect resources. And so I'd rather be in control of my own destiny as much as I can. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I rambled for a bit. So there you
go. No,
it was really long, but it was awesome.
Spot on. No, it was great. I love that you hinted at the fact that failure is part of the job.
Oh yeah.
You have to be okay failing so you can build.
Right. You'll have a customer that you did everything right for. Their numbers are insane. Like, we had one recently and they called us up to cancel. We're like, well, what's going on? Why would you cancel? Well, the owner's son is 1 year out of college and he's starting a marketing company and wants to do everything. And so I'm like, okay. Now we watched it. Their organic pages decline, their traffic is plummeted, almost down almost 50%. But that's part of it. They're going to go learn and they're going to come back. But it's part of the deal. You just hope that the great days outnumber the bad days.
The boomerangs are the sweetest gifts, though. The ones that leave and then come back like, hey, good to see you, pal.
They are.
You.
We used to take it really personal, right? We used to take it really personal. We're like, well, you're not getting that discount.
It's hard not to because it's your baby. It's your baby. You're like, F that guy, right? And
then you realize
that's what it's about.
It could be like my maturity, it's like now you're just like, hey, no worries. It's a business decision. Like, I have little bouts of maturity every once in a while. Like, I was not sure I wanted to come to Vegas. That's when I knew I'm getting mature. Last time I was here, I was in bed by 10. I was like, what in the world is happening to me? I wasn't sure if I should be proud of myself or not.
Are you past 40? Because I think that's par for our course, my friend. Is that you're right around
between 30
I was in
and
Vegas
50.
I was in Vegas last week, and I wrote friends. I said I never thought I'd have a good time without drinking in Vegas, and I pulled that one off. So
There you go. Good. Congrats.
Tony, we want to thank you for your time.
Yeah.
You're awesome, dude. We love Popmenu.
Thank
If
you.
people are listening to this, you gotta go check out their website. You guys got stats in your website that is incredible on what you've done for restaurants. So
Yep.
hats off, man. And it's great knowing you. I've known you for a few years now and been able to actually talk this time. Last time I lost my voice.
Yeah.
But you guys rock.
God
You
does
really
answer
are.
prayers.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We
Best
appreciate
day
the
in
exposure.
podcasting.
Yeah, we appreciate the exposure, and we love anybody that's out there trying to promote the space is big, right? It helps another way for customers to learn, and it makes things less scary for people, and I think that ultimately helps us. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that we do have a lot of customers in Canada to check us out. I think if I'm going to say it right, we have customers from BC to the SO to Nova Scotia, and even
Hey,
Sue.
that's pretty good,
we
Tony.
got one in we got one in
But are you in Saskatoon?
Newfoundland.
Nunavut?
Nunavut. Wow.
Nunavut.
Nunavut?
Yeah.
Wow, Tony. Well
There's probably
done,
only
man.
2 restaurants in Nunavut. You got 50% of the business.
We must have them, man. We must have them. Yeah, we got some good customers up there, and we think it's a great market, and so we're excited to spend more time up there. And anytime we can help, give me a shout, and I'll try not to ramble next time.
No, it's awesome,
it's
Tony.
fun.
What are
All
you
the
doing in
best.
Vegas?
Love you.
What are you doing in
we got
Vegas,
the-
Tony?
we got the pizza.
There's 4 shows right now.
I know. We got the pizza
The holidays
show.
back. What do you think he's doing?
I got the pizza show.
There's
and the
4
restaurant bar
shows you can pick
expos.
from.
Right. Well, I was at Mertech
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Well, let them answer.
I was
I
too.
was at Mertech 2 weeks ago. Then now we got restaurant and bar and the pizza show. So, and then we got an event at the Sphere. So, my wife
Oh,
thinks I'm
when's
a
the
girlfriend
event
or
at the
something.
Sphere?
I'm like, no, I just got a lot of conferences.
What's the event at the Sphere? That place is baller. Is that
I think
your
it's the
event?
Grateful Dead. I think it's the Grateful Dead thing.
No, you're doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw
We have
that.
a
Enjoy
suite.
it.
When we have some
Is that-
tickets, any multi-unit customers listening, hit me up and I'll see if I can get you going.
Hell, I'll
Nice.
bring one with me if I can go.
You got my email, Tony@Popmenu.
I
Tony,
love it.
thanks so
Anyways,
much.
thanks so much, Tony, for your time. Best in Vegas.
All
We'll
right.
stay in
Thanks,
touch.
guys. Have a great
You
weekend.
bet. You bet. You
Cheers.
too.
You too, man. Nice meeting you. That was cool.
That was really cool, man. Cool guy.
Yeah.
Beck, that sky's really blue. Are you under like an
It's
awning?
not a sky. It's a building. You're looking at a building over there. And
No, in between the building and the other building. Is that the blue sky?
that's called night.
It
The
looks
twinkling is
blue.
stars.
I know, but
And
it's
stars
really blue.
are gaseous masses that have had nuclear fire in them that burn for a very long time and have planets
Yeah.
that circle them.
Can you tell us your family relation?
The
with
Lion
Tony
King,
again?
right? The Lion King, where Pumbaa's describing what the night sky is to Timon, the Lion King.
I actually had
Is
an
that what you were
ex-girlfriend
doing?
ask me that question with pure innocence. What are those lights in the sky? And I go, I gotta go.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, Beck, there you go. You learned a
I'm like
little
the
bit about
helicopter flying
Popmenu.
by? Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a
I'm
Lot
little
of
popping.
bit of Popmenu. They're really cool, man. Like their numbers
Yeah.
are huge. Huge numbers
Good
on
for
being
them.
able to
Cool.
help restaurants out. And I've known Tony and Popmenu for, well, geez, I'm gonna say 6 years. 6 years now. So just when he started,
Yeah.
he started at 7. I think it was about 6 years. And pretty
Does he have a
incredible.
booth at the pizza show? Are they
Yeah, he
exhibiting?
opened it.
Or are they
Yes.
just walking it?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I walked the show. I didn't see them today, so I'll go back and take a look tomorrow.
The one at the National Restaurant Association show, they had a double decker. They had a
Ooh.
double decker booth.
Like a bus?
No, they went out. There was like a patio on the roof, and then
I
we
know,
went
I know.
Yeah,
upstairs.
they
Sorry,
got like
Jay.
a
Sorry,
nice,
Jay.
nice observation
Yeah. A
deck.
mezzanine.
Yeah, you went too literal.
We had to have a moment up there. Put it that way. I had too many Red Bulls.
Okay. Jay.
That was then.
We'll
I
go
am
there.
drinking water. Thank you. Jesus. Anyways, back. You're looking good. I was worried about you on the flight. Not enough sleep.
I am
You have to go to
tired as
bed early.
shit.
You should
I
get
am
some
so
sleep tonight.
tired. Yeah, literally.
You look like $1 million
I'm
bucks.
going
Well,
on an
you're
hour
about
sleep
900
today.
grand, but
Well, Billy Crystal back in the day, it's not how you feel, darling, it's how you look. And so that's all it's all about, right?
Well,
Fernando's
you look
Hideaway,
marvelous.
right?
Yeah.
You look
Marvelous.
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 Yeah, yeah,
you saw that I
yeah.
responded to that email and just said you were flying, you were in transit, so
Yes,
it was all
yes.
good.
And I will answer him today and get some conversations
No,
over to him and
take
take
tomorrow.
care of
I'm
him.
sure it's fine, right? There's no rush. I just want to make sure I was doing what you told me to do.
Yes.
Anyway,
Well,
Yes,
that's
let's
something
do
in
that.
itself, Jay, that you did something that you were told to do. How did that
shut
work?
up. So I
Wait,
gotta
what
point
did
this out
Yeah.
before you
How
go.
did you,
So everyone
how
that
did you
watches
frame
your
the
show,
question? This is what I really want to know. How
no,
did you
just wait a
frame that
second.
question to get a
I
response
want to point
from
out,
Jay?
Sebek, if you look really
I
close,
am a Jedi. It was a
no,
gesture.
no,
You
just
will
wait,
hand it
just
off to
wait,
me.
just
Yeah,
wait, just wait. You've influenced Dominic. Don't, Dominic, move it back.
what do you
Move it
do?
back. Look, you've influenced him. Look what you put.
What I
He's got behind
influence?
you now. He's got
Is it
little
comic books?
toys. He's got toys behind him.
Yeah.
I love
They're not as
that.
cool as yours.
I'm not going.
Ye-
Well, it's not even close,
He's
Jay.
got
Like
a
what? How
monkey.
can I
He's
compare
got a
that?
monkey. He's got a monkey and some knockoff
I gotta
Lego
zoom
set.
in.
You're
What is
close.
this? I see it. Yeah, he's got some little house back
Well, that's a
there.
real Lego set. That was a Father's Day gift. Those are my kids.
Okay, well now
Your
you're gonna
kids
make
are
it
inside the
personal. You
Legos?
can't do that.
Like it
You can't
was
pull the
like first we
personal
did
card.
Honey, I
You
Shrunk the
can't do
Kids,
that.
and then that's what happened.
Oh, that's
That's
cute.
an antique then. It's a collector's. But look at that. Look, he's
So
looking.
who's
Well,
gonna
yeah,
take?
any
Who's
young
gonna?
kid nowadays, they don't know what
It's not.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids
It's
are,
not
and when you
the.
tell them to
No,
watch it, they're shocked
I
at how
don't think
good
they
it
have the
is.
ride anymore. Didn't they used to have a ride at Universal called Honey, I Shrunk the
Rick,
Kids? I don't think it
probably
exists
Rick, and
anymore.
Rick Moranis is brilliant. Just in case you didn't know,
Yeah,
Canadian.
yes, he is.
he is.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
All right.
I
Well,
like your
gentlemen,
plans.
that was a great pod.
Michael, have you ever seen SCTV? I'm sure you have.
Absolutely. That's where
SC.
Eugene Levy.
Okay.
It's Canadian. Yes, it is Canadian. That's where John Candy,
John
Elaine
Candy, yeah.
Boozler, Eugene Levy. Well, Rick Moranis is part of that group too, right?
Well, didn't
And
that
I think
start
that was the Lauren
SNL?
Michaels production, though.
Yeah, it
No,
moved over
no,
to
no, no. It
SNL.
was in parallel. It was a
Wasn't
Lauren
it
Michaels
parallel?
production, the same as Kids in the Hall. Kids in the Hall is
Yeah.
also
Wow.
Lauren Michaels production.
Yeah,
Really?
that was
I
pretty
didn't
funny.
know that.
Mr. Canoehead,
Yeah.
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 You
I
guys,
crush
that's
your
crazy.
head,
Yeah.
crunch, you flathead, you businessman. I am going to get a job and go to work. I'm going to fix restaurants. I crush you, Jay. I crush you, crunch, crunch. Okay.
Well, safe trip back. How long you down there till?
Thursday and a hellish flight back at 9 and landing at 4. These guys suck.
Really?
I don't do well on red
Why-
eyes. I never sleep on the plane. I just work.
Oh, it's 9 at night.
9 at night, home at 4 in the morning. I left at 4 and I got here. Oh yeah, it blows big chunk.
That's not a good flight.
Big
Anyways.
French fried chunks of poutine. Blows
Send
all
us
over the place.
pictures. Send us pictures. Say hi to my fans down there.
Yeah,
My
well,
fan.
right now I actually fucked off an influencer dinner. So Sean's there, Waltiff, Rev is there, all the main dudes that we always see everywhere. They're in that room, and I'm with you guys.
And then
Thanks,
I'm
Michael.
sure
That makes us feel
Monty's
special.
there. Say hi to Monty.
I like the cover. Monty Hall. Let's make a deal.
Yeah.
Got
No,
him.
Monty's there.
No,
Monty's there. Everyone's
Monty
there.
Silva. I think
Monty
he's-
Python. Yeah, I saw Monty running around. He was talking about Dead Parrot or something. Dead Parrot sketch.
The Dead Parrot Society? Oh.
No, Dead Parrot sketch. That was the Norwegian Blue. It was a John Cleese sketch.
I'm thinking of
him
the
and
Dead
Michael
Poet
Palin.
Society, but that's okay.
No, that's Robin Williams. Different piece.
I'd love you guys.
My
have
captain.
This moment. I love this moment every podcast.
Oh,
you guys
Captain,
go
my
back to
captain.
your
Yes,
younger
because we
you.
get to leave you out.
I never
for a
even watched
second.
that
It's
whole
great.
movie.
It's really good. That's when
Hey,
Robin
can you
went for the
find a
Oscar.
clip of Can you find a clip of the Schmengies and play us out?
No, the Schmangies. I'm not doing the Schmangies.
What is a shmengi? It sounds like a
The
Jewish
Schmengies
snack.
was the Ukrainian polka band from SCTV.
The Schmangies? How you spell that?
Oh, that's funny that they're Ukrainian.
Yeah.
How ahead
funny.
of its time.
It was very, very, very funny.
How was
Watch
it?
it,
How
Jay.
do you spell that, Dom?
SCH something and then M, I think.
SCH?
Yeah. M.
It's probably like schmegma, but schmegme.
The what? Poker?
I got dumb.
Is it poker?
I'm not allowed to say it again.
I'm not looking that up.
He's looking up for the schmegma band.
I got a lot of schmeckle. I got a lot of schmeckle with that schmeckle. Google search.
Schmeckle. Oh Lord!
And then look up
again.
Eugene Levy. Look up Halfwits from SCTV. You're gonna laugh your ass off.
Oh, those are great. They're so stupid. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, halfwits are great. I think they're now serving in our government, but yeah.
We've had 9 years of them.
Absolutely. Idiocracy is here. It's not a movie.
Oh my god. All right. We gotta go, gentlemen.
I gotta go.
Bye, Mike.
Back.
Safe
travels back home.
You know,
Be
even when I
safe
try, I
down there.
can't quit you guys.
Be safe down there.
I'm wearing a condom right now at all times, 24 hours a day. I am wearing one.
Ugh.
Just in case.
You know what they say though? Don't double up, right? Because that's no good.
You got the safety guy there. Safe check will tell you.
I put a bag over my own head. That's the thing, right? So, yeah.
Too much.
Anyway.
Too much friction. It's not.
What is it? Wasn't that the bad joke? Wasn't that the bad joke? Like it's like a double bagger. You bag your head and hers in case hers falls off because she's so ugly. Just terrible.
We're not. Well, now we're going to get.
We're losing all our female fans. I'm so sorry.
Our two sponsor possibilities gone.
She's gonna. Yeah, sorry.
1 minute,
sorry,
1 hour, 1 minute cut. Okay. You guys good?
Yeah.
Okay,
bye.
Bye, Michael.